Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The best time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Parkville Network.
Well, all right.
I'm terrible at keeping secrets. The fact that I've kept the secret for so long, I may explode.
This is the worst kept secret. Worst. Well, it's on social media already.
My mom
Everywhere.
doesn't even know. So we have to tell everybody that it's a secret, because if my mom
Is she
thinks
on
that everybody
Facebook?
knew, I don't know, kind of. I mean, she says she's not, but she always knows everything I post, but I don't think she is.
She only follows you.
Probably.
You're her only
one friend.
friend on Facebook.
Probably. No. Sorry, Mom. I love you.
All right, so introductions around?
Okay, so we have Sasha, who
right.
everybody knows. Before.
Yes.
We have Bill Hipsher over here.
Yes.
We have Jill Thomas,
Yes.
JT.
Hello.
I've known her for 25 years. We have Chris. We have me. And we have a brand new venture. We have a new,
Huge
a new
announcement.
future. We have new everything. Huge announcement.
Let's step back just for a second and talk about, I mean, most people know how we got, or why.
Yes.
We don't need to hash through that crap anymore. Let's move forward with positivity.
Yada, yada. Let's just like yada, yada, yada.
Yes. Okay. So this spring, we have a wonderful array of clients that we have been working with, doing podcasts for their businesses, marketing, entertainment, sports, and everything was just like rolling in the right direction. And we were so fortunate when the quarantine started, we could still do Zoom, we could still socially distance and get their podcasts put out there. And it was awesome. Everything was going great. And one of our clients is Core Bank.
Right. Melissa Glenn. And they've been with us for what, 6 months, 8 months? Almost a year, actually.
Almost a year. And they were the bank. I got to give them credit where credit's due. Without them, we didn't get started.
They gave us an account. Suckers. I can't believe they did that.
Because we were walking in without a business plan with a great idea. We both knew it was a great idea. It was just hard to explain it. And no history of handling finances professionally.
And banks like that.
They like that a lot.
That.
Yeah.
They love that.
But they gave us a checking account and a debit card. And we said, okay,
Here we go.
here we go. So unbelievably, and this is we've talked about this so many times in the last 6-7 months, how what you put out comes back to you. And how it's like all of a sudden things start going in the right direction and you got to just keep rolling with it. And as it turns out, Chris has a connection with Melissa.
Well, I think that's how we got on, because Melissa she really wanted to talk to Bill, but she used me to talk to Bill. She's like, hey, we really want to have you on our podcast. And if Bill could be there and make sure
what were they talking about?
They were talking to business owners. They were talking about strategies like going through COVID and stuff. So she used me to get to Bill, and was nice enough to have me on the show
how
too.
did she know you?
From North Platte, so West Coast.
Platte.
You're a good host. You're leading me down what I actually need to talk about.
Pretty soon you're going to be crying. In it. Trust me, can't get it out of you.
My
Is this
goal.
the conspiracy show?
This is my goal.
Say welcome to my TED Talk.
So yeah, Melissa and I both grew up in North Platte. Fun. I can't remember his middle school or high school, but I definitely took her to a dance. I think it was maybe freshman year of high school.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so we've been good friends since then. We ran into her a couple of times when she was with Greater Omaha Chamber and asked me over at Core Bank.
She's so energetic and so positive, just like always when you walk in the room.
And it never ends too. Like, she doesn't have the end to her gas tank of positivity and let's go get them and let's do some cool stuff together. So she's been great and invited us onto the podcast, which you guys were facilitating.
Right.
And it was like love at first sight.
Yeah.
It was so easy. Like,
well, where were you guys at that time?
I was at home
You
with my
don't
3
know.
cats. Like,
No, where were you? Like there was things going on. Bill, you might want to speak to this when you came in the podcast, and that's something that was kind of on your radar.
Well, yeah, we had been talking about starting a podcast part to the company. We had dabbled in it over the last couple of years and knew it was a great opportunity for us as an agency. And it wasn't just the Core Bank where we crossed over. About 2 weeks or maybe a week before the Core Bank podcast was recorded, you had our film director, Dan Napoli, and Marty Cordero in here to talk about 50 Summers.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Yeah.
1 week we have them in here and they're interacting with you, and that was my first exposure to who you guys were. And then we did the Core Experience podcast, and I was like, this is a way to take several steps forward.
Yeah.
If we could partner with you guys, didn't know what could be out there. And instantly put Chris and Dan like on a mission. I'm like, I really like Pat and Jill. A lot of times if I go and try to approach somebody, it gets weird. But if you guys,
Why am I getting this 70-page email at 4 a.m.?
Well, like the very next day after that, Dan sent a note and was like, "Hey, can we
good
chat?"
Dan.
I'm like, "What?"
What was
and,
it?
Yeah, and it was. I mean, he was great. He's like, "Hey, can we talk for a second?" I'm like, "Sure,
Yeah.
no problem. What's up?"
A second?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just a second.
Dan.
Just a second.
No biggie.
It's never a second with Dan.
Right.
well, we had
14
gone-
minutes later.
we went through something similar with Dan several years before where found him, some of the work that he had done as a director. We were looking to expand more into the film and video space. And I thought like there might be some similarities between creators and that he could maybe approach you and talk about his experience in working with us. Again, not knowing where it would go. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. I think Chris was on the phone with you guys next and then got me an email address and then we
That was after they picked us up off the floor.
Right.
Because we've just
I
been
remember
doing
the
this
look-
for
I
like
remember
16 months, 15 months.
I mean, I remember the look on your face, Jill, when after I talked to Dan and he had said, "Hey, would you guys ever consider, selling your company or merging?" And I'm like, hold on. So I'm like, we talked for a second, I hung up and went into her office, and I told her that, and she like literally turned. She usually doesn't pay attention to me at all, but so when I said this, she like turned around. She's like, "What's that?" Like, yeah. She was, "Are you serious?" Right. Excuse me. So I mean, not only like right off the jump, it was a huge just compliment.
Oh yeah.
That we like it kind of validated kind of what we the vision that we had. Like we know that this has a place. So it was pretty awesome. Even if nothing ever came of it, it was just an awesome
Oh my
compliment.
gosh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then the I guess really working through the details, is trying to from that point and that was the easy part. That happened fast.
the whole thing was easy. And I think, just kind of taking a step back, what made this really work and what had us interested, what you guys built was really cool. How you guys built it from scratch and nothing, and what you had been able to put together in 16, 18 months was really neat to look at. But interacting with the two of you and getting to know who you were and the type of people you were, Chris and I always say, like, we want to create cool stuff with people that we enjoy working with, and like felt the energy right away. I was like, these are two people we want to add to the team. There's a lot that they bring that can be a positive, not just in the podcasting space, but in what you guys bring overall and in the energy and the creativity. So it was more about people than the company when we were starting to have those talks. And I think that's why it came so easy. Like, we knew we wanted it. I didn't want you guys to know how bad we wanted it.
Dang it.
And we were the worst negotiators on earth. The worst on earth.
The worst.
How much do we have to pay you to do this?
Right? Right? It's like, okay, sure, yeah, whatever. Okay. But yeah, we were super excited.
Because we knew what we wanted. It was kind of the green light for us was like, we knew what we wanted to build, and you guys wanted to build the same thing. It's like, well, okay, it's going to take her and I together a long time to do this, but adding a whole team and being part of a team like with Hurrdat,
It fast-tracked both of us.
100%.
It really did. It fast-tracked both of us because we've got ideas. I know Sasha's got ideas. Well, obviously, she's got 2 podcasts going now,
Right?
which is awesome.
We gotta
And
have her
go
slow
ahead.
down
Why
her
don't you-
ideas.
Why don't you kind of pimp them a little?
You mean Meathead Test Kitchen and Mind Your Own Podcast?
Yeah, that one. Those, yep.
And doing really well, which
It's
is
fun.
which is awesome.
Which is another thing that we got to do because of this was bring Sasha on full time as a
I
creator,
can't believe
producer.
you guys were able to not tell me for that long. I felt you guys ghosted me for 2 weeks, and I was like, what?
Because if we talked to you, I would speak.
know.
I would say it.
know.
I couldn't do it.
and we didn't want, in case something didn't come through, been like,
Yeah.
that would have been terrible.
Yeah, it
The
was awesome.
timing of everything, and how it
Well,
all just,
you are a good example too, because it was a good
nuts.
time for you. It was
Yeah.
it meant. I mean, it just it met the moment.
Yeah. I almost bawled when I left here that day. Like when you guys were like, yeah, but you're coming with us. And I was like, what? Yes, this is so exciting. I was like, my head's going to explode. There's so
And you
many
dropped
cool
a ton
things
of
we can do.
F-bombs.
She
A
did.
ton
I
of
did.
F-bombs.
I
all the
just F-bombed my way to my cookie.
Talk about what a small world it is. Like, when we asked the two of you, like, how do we elevate you to the next level? How do we get you to take on some more projects and free you up from some of the day-to-day business stuff that Hurrdat can bring in and layer in? Because we have the operations, we have project manager, right? So how do we take some of that off your plate, let you go be great creators? And then what's the next step? Who do we add to the team? And I mentioned Sasha.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know who Sasha is, but I go and do a Google search, and I'm like, wait a second. Why is Aaron Sorensen, who's on our Hell Varsity team,
Right.
in a profile picture with Sasha? Like, so the whole world just kind of
crazy.
Isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
the intersections, it's crazy how many times
Yeah.
that this all just seems to go together.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is
And
awesome.
it's not just Hurrdat specifically. I mean, it's all under one umbrella, but it, like you just said, Hail Varsity magazine, which is, I mean, I've loved Hail Varsity for 8-10 years.
That's where
whatever.
I got my news before,
Yeah, 100%.
before they were part of the family.
Yeah. And how many creators that they have there, content creators.
Yep.
Phenomenal writers and storytellers. And their podcasts, they were doing their podcasts. They just needed that. They didn't need to be doing podcasts. They needed to be doing content and not worry about the podcast side of it.
Production side. Right?
Yeah. So they can just come in and do it and then walk out. And and now it frees them up.
Yeah, Derek Peterson's very happy with this arrangement.
Yeah.
He's like, we sound great. I just had to walk in and do it. And I'm
Almost
gone.
feels guilty. I hope he
Right.
does. Okay.
Yeah.
He does.
All right.
You better feel guilty.
So it's really exciting. And yeah, go further. Either one of you guys talk a little bit more about Hurrdat too, in case anybody's not familiar. It's not just Hell Varsity and now podcasting, and you heard about the films. And let's brag a little bit about this too, because the film department is phenomenal.
Well, and it was kind of the same story with Dan. We had a job posted, I think, for an entry level like videographer, which I don't ever say the word videographer in front of Dan. And I've known Dan for, I think, close to like 25 years, and I'm 37, so that means I've known him for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, he got me into a Less Than Jake show when I was 15 years old and took my mom's Vivitar. Like, and he got me on the bus, like, with the band. And I'm such an idiot. I'm taking flash photography at 10 o'clock in the morning with a rock band.
That's a bad idea.
And they're like, who's the chubby kid with the flash on? Like, can he chill? And they were super cool. They signed a record for me that still hangs in my mom's office. But anyway,
my God.
I sent the job description over to Dan. And I'm like, hey, would you be interested in applying for this job? And he's like, this is exactly what I do. Him and Bill start talking. And then it's like, we're out at Warner Park having a company meeting. And I see Dan on an org chart that's Hurrdat Films. Yeah. And I'm like, I had no idea that he was joining our team. And that's what, you know, Bill's really good at seeing like 100 yards down the field and understanding like what that play looks like.
Yes. Yes.
Instead of
agreed.
like, hey, let's hire, you know, somebody who does video versus, hey, let's go get this great director who's been in it for a long time that already has these relationships. And same thing with you guys. Like, I was talking to UNL students on yesterday, and we were talking, I broke the news to them. So there's a bunch of UNL marketing students that definitely know about this already, but they knew who you guys were. They're like, oh yeah, we grew up in Omaha, like Pat and JT are legends.
Oh my God.
Like, and that's such a big thing. And I grew up in North Platte and Link, but I still knew like who you guys were.
Wow.
And that's such a big deal to be able to lend that credibility of you guys to bring that into the family. It
Again,
shortcuts us.
Suckers.
Gonna
we get
ride this all the way to the finish line.
Podcast company. But we just walked out of a meeting, and it's getting, our story is so all over the place, and it's this big spider web of creativity, where it's Hurrdat Films, it's Hurrdat, it's web development, it's SEO, it's social, it's films, it's podcasts, it's Hail Varsity. We own a fighting organization, like, which is people
Victory
are like,
Fighting.
Yeah, Victory Fighting Championship.
We partner with Blur parties.
Yes.
Right?
Very
Blur,
good.
yeah, Blur's awesome.
Yeah.
And saw you on TV this week.
I was on, I'm a bar owner now. KETV. They didn't ask my title, and they just kind of assumed like, oh, this like frat dude, like skate dad.
Owns a bar.
Like, he probably owns a bar.
Yeah.
It was, I gotta say though, it was the best frame shot.
I framed
I knew
the
you
shot, just so
did
you know.
because you're brilliant. I knew you did because I was explaining it to somebody. I said, this was so awesome. If you saw, and they know if they saw you, but Nick Baugh's one of our podcasts, and he puts Nick Baugh's logo up on the cube in the rail yard.
Perfect.
And then he stands strategically, so it's resting on his right shoulder. And then the entire shot
Perfect.
is a Boz podcast.
Well, she
logo.
goes, do you want to come down here on the first floor and do it? I go, no. I want to do it up here.
Yeah.
Because there'll be something cool over my shoulder. Can we drop a falcon screech in here? When we
Yeah.
say Nick Bob?
Nick. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, man.
But yeah, I've been on the news twice in the past 2 weeks. One for shoving Valentinos inside of a Runza, and then this one was more important.
What do you call that? The
the
Runzatino?
Balanza,
Valenza.
or the Runzatino.
Latino.
How fantastic is that?
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be good.
Oh,
yeah.
come on.
Like I had a whole post that was written. It's like, hey, while these two things are good by themselves, they're not that great together. But they're both Nebraska legends. But it's actually pretty tasty.
And then
Yeah,
it
I
blew your
bet.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
I didn't want to
blew
talk
your
about it in front of Meathead Test Kitchen.
You're supposed to be watching your micros.
Does it fit your macros?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't fit my macros at all.
Macros or your micros, Pat.
Start over
Doesn't fit-
tomorrow.
That's right. Start over tomorrow. Don't give up. But I wanted to say just a shout out also to both of them as well, because they're now on board partnering with Nick's podcast, which is awesome. Which is awesome.
Yep, legends.
Yeah. So
As it
we're
should be.
excited. I mean, we're obviously excited for whatever the future holds. This is because meeting with you guys and becoming becoming part of Hurrdat
The team.
it's like it's seamless because it's exactly our vision. It's what we've always wanted to do, and now we have a team to help us, and we have bringing podcasts to Hurrdat. It's just going to be awesome. We're very excited.
Yeah.
We're in the honeymoon phase right now, though. So
Oh yeah, we'll start fighting. It'll get real in a year, but it'll be fine.
socks are gonna go into different
Whatever.
drawers. Like Pat's not gonna do the dishes, which you.
No.
I mean, you
I
just said
don't.
your wife's out of town.
Seriously,
She's out
can
of
I
town.
can I
You haven't
just
done
say
anything.
something
You should
right
see my
now?
house.
Oh, you should see your kitchen here. What's in the kitchen?
A cup.
in the
How
kitchen.
long? How many days has that cup been in the sink?
2.
3.
So your wife leaves.
3, dude.
I looked at 3. I literally looked at the
3
cup this
days.
morning and I was like, "How many days is this thing going to sit here?" Because I'm not washing it.
I put
cup watch.
God, it sounds like literally my wife saying that to me. I put soup. I had soup, and it was like cooked on the side. So I put some soap in there. It's been soaking. I forgot about it. I'll do it tonight.
That's the most like college roommate thing
Right,
of all time. Be
right.
like, I'm gonna leave this pot of mac and cheese in here to soak for 6 weeks.
it
To the point that you
evaporates.
just have to throw it away.
Right, just
It's
throw the
to
whole
that
pot
point.
away. It's a $3 pot.
So funny you bring that up.
Right.
It all works well. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? Things that are coming up, or football season is back on?
Football season's back on. Our to-do list got real big as of yesterday with everything that's going on in the rail yard. You can talk about the rail yard. Like,
Yeah, that's true. That's another one.
I tell a lot of people we just have a hard time saying no to stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It's strategic. There's a reason.
Everything's strategic.
It's nothing on accident.
The rail yard's going to be really fun this season. What else were we talking about?
Yeah. Well,
Football season.
The football
it's going to
season.
be good. We've spun up. What I'm really impressed with is just how quick you guys have been able to spin up podcasts. Like from like,
let's talk about those
hey,
too.
we have a crazy idea and we want to do this podcast. And like next week, you're like, hey, we're up on iTunes.
Yeah.
Like, so Pat and I have, which is just so weird. Like Bill sent me a text a couple weeks ago. He's like, did you think you'd be interviewing Eric Crouch on like your podcast?
But, and you did a great job. Red to Black is one of our podcasts where we talk about Huskers that are successful on the field, court, whatever, and then flip that over to business.
Husker athletes, yeah.
Right. And
All of them,
so
yeah.
Crouch Recreation is, everybody knows about that.
It's a natural pick.
Right. And he was awesome. And you did a great job.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just been watching you. But Meathead Test
wait.
Kitchen is like
I've
my
been
favorite like health and fitness
I was gonna say, I've been
podcast.
sitting across him for about 20 years. Stop
Yeah.
it.
She's not impressed.
But anyway, go back to Meathead Test Kitchen because it
Meathead
is
Test
awesome.
Kitchen. I love getting yelled at by Sasha and Sadie. They don't yell at like
It's more, I feel like we just like, I'm just gonna be blunt about it.
Yeah.
Like this is straight up what worked and what didn't work. And we also swear a lot because that's just how we talk.
That's
just
So
how you
it's sweary. Hashtag sweary.
Fitness and nutrition, basically.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And your guns.
and Mind Your Own podcast.
Yeah.
Like, Aaron and Sasha had been looking for like this podcast that they knew was in there, and they got it spun up, and it's awesome. Like it's sticking to sports except when they're not, which has always been in Aaron's Twitter bio, and now they've turned it into podcast form, and it's just
Yeah.
incredible.
It's
Yeah,
great.
A lot of fun.
It's fun. It is fun to do it.
And how many others are there? Hell Varsity wise.
Oh man, I mean, Derek's.
We still have
Varsity
others.
Club
We
and-
still have others coming
Yeah,
too.
and Jay Moore, and yeah, there's a ton. So it's fun. It's fun to have access to all this content and all this, like with Hail Varsity Husker stuff, it's just unlimited, So that's what it's like. It's hard to stay focused, to be honest with you, on one thing. Because it gets so scattered.
That's why like a month ago I had to come and say, like, we have so many good ideas.
Here, grab that mic, pull it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Sorry. We have so many good ideas.
Yeah.
We're going with these 5.
Yeah.
Let's get these 5 developed. And then what was awesome is a month later, you guys hit deadlines, all 5 of them developed, up, live, going. So watching you guys be able to do that has just been amazing. We wouldn't be able to do that if we tried to take those steps forward on our own or do it internally. We might get one podcast halfway up this year, right? So watching you guys as a team come together, be able to do that has been great. I think, too, it's the content that we're creating is really positive. So I had a 13-hour drive from Salt Lake City back to Omaha on Wednesday.
But you do that a lot.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of back and forth between our offices, which is good because I couldn't finish all of our podcasts. We have such a great network, and the content that comes through is so positive. I spent the entire 13 hours listening to Hurrdat Media Network podcasts and didn't finish. It was all super positive stuff.
Yeah, and that's it. That is true. That is, they're all very. There was 37 now.
37, yeah.
I think, and we got 2 more about ready to go on. One that we just submitted today. The other one is getting ready to start. She'll launch
22nd,
the October 1st.
You're right. And actually, we were so close to this for the last 18 months. We didn't really realize the podcast that we had going. And then after we started transitioning and moving everything over, when we realized that in the 18 months, we had like 1.8 million downloads for the network that we had. I mean, that was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
We didn't really sit back and
because
realize.
we were working right in the middle of the field. You couldn't see the rest of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty, we're really proud of everything, and moving forward, everything with Hail Varsity. And I mean, it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
We're excited.
Oh my God.
And,
Welcome
so
to
I
the
guess-
Hurrdat family officially.
Thank you.
Even though it's been here, but
Everybody knows.
That's okay. We got logos on our walls. We got logos on the door.
like you said, worst kept secret.
We had people drove by because the logo was changed, and then they come back and they're like, "This is still Park."
Right?
No, it's Hurrdat now, but it's okay. Come on in. We just changed the door. And I want to add one other thing too. There are a lot of local podcasters, and we're looking for you. And if you have one that's a favorite of yours, we would love to. We might be able to help you out. Maybe we can give you an assist. We don't know, but if you've got a favorite that you listen to that's a local, we've got some great ones. I didn't count those as in our total, so we're easily to 40.
Oh, easily to 40.
So we got some new ones that are going to be coming up, jumping on board. So just to put it out there, because you guys are always so helpful about this, and the podcasters that are out there and the local people, and whatever topics, doesn't matter. Just either throw them our way or shoot us a line and tell us who they are.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are awesome. There's one more little thing that we fixed
Oh,
at the end of our outro. So you guys to listen to the entire outro. Okay, so here we go. So I'll do my normal thing. 402-403-9478. You can text us.
Yeah.
Nothing changes. Phone number's still the same.
That's the same.
But Bill, your daughter Maggie, is making an appearance. Here we go. Everything changes.
Pat and JT Podcast, a Hurrdat Media Production.
That's Maggie. Awesome. Thank you guys for listening.
Maggie.
So we teamed her up with
Gabe.
Gabe.
Scott's son.
Scott's son.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.